Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. This is your boy, the coach from the WWE. I would like to welcome you to the very first wrestling podcast in the world to take you on a weekly deep dive into classic matches along with legends of the squared circle. Enjoy the discussion. Enjoy the back and forth. There's so much to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Payoff.
Welcome to an all-new episode of The Payoff. I'm Tom. That's Jeff. We're talking ECW today. I'm very, very excited for this. You can hear it in my voice. I love ECW. Psicosis, one of the all-time greats. REY Mysterio Jr., are you kidding me? We know he's awesome. Still going strong in 2023. So I am really pumped to cover this one. What about you, man?
Yeah, this is great. When you say a debuting Rey Mysterio, or a debuting Mysterio, you don't necessarily think of Rey on this one. And so I'm excited though to kind of check this out, kind of see what's happening. This is a match that, of course, have not seen, and so it should be very, very good.
So this is going to be a good one. So we're Gangstas Paradise. They only did this one time, I think. They called it Gangstas Paradise 1995 on Peacock, but this was a one-time event that they did. This is going to be a lot of fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pumped. All right, let's get into the build.
Oh, it's time for the build.
So Gangstas Paradise, ECW Arena. The date on this one is
little wonky.
September 16th, 1995. Yes. Okay. So probably, depending on the temperature, probably a little warm inside the building. Of course, no AC, so it used to get hot as hell in there during those summer shows. September, they might have been okay. So it's fun because this was the era where this was an episode of hardcore TV that aired in syndicate, and then they would sell the videotape, wherever they could. There was just a charm to this. It was just so fun. So fun. The show itself is loaded here. Bull Payne defeats Broad Street Bully in 8 minutes. The Dudleys defeat Chad Austin and Don E. Allen in 4 minutes. Hack Myers defeats JT Smith in 10 minutes by countout. I don't even know if that's a typo or not, Jeff. I don't think they have countouts in ECW, but maybe one guy just left.
Left the building. It just drove away.
Yeah. Jason Knight and the Eliminators are going to defeat Taz and the Steiner Brothers in 20 minutes. So that's fun. I always love these random cameos of ECW. Sid used to show up, Steiner Brothers. Dusty Rhodes wrestled in ECW. I mean, it's kind of fun. The Pit Bulls are going to defeat Raven and Stevie Richards in a 2 out of 3 falls dog collar match for the World Tag Team Championships in 20 minutes. That's fun. Semi-main events, the match we're going to cover. And then in the main event, Mikey Whipwreck and the Public Enemy are going to defeat Too Cold Scorpio, New Jack, and the Sandman in a Gangstas Paradise cage match that went 15 minutes. So, I mean, dude, again, I know with inflation, different amount of money, but for $20 or whatever you spent on a ticket to sit there and watch this show, and you couldn't have been more than 100 feet from the ring. I mean, what's better than this? This is just great shit, man. This is just great stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like the precursor to an NXT or something. Again, different styles and everything else, but just that small building, big star. This is fun, man.
Yeah, and this is one, and so you got to go way back in the Payoff archives to we did cover that Pitbull's Raven Stevie Richards match with Raven, and so make sure to go back and check that one out. But yeah, and overall, this match that we're going to talk about was the only match that was given any stars whatsoever. ECW wasn't what it was even in a year, and so we didn't have that, and so both these guys, though, really interesting of debuting. Like, it's just, it feels really weird to say that, but that's what it is. So I'll start with Psicosis, debuting in in the US in ECW. It was September 1995, and so that's this month, facing Rey Mysterio at this show. And so this was the first time the fans had gotten to see him. And so recruited by, of course, Heyman, who was seeking to replace Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko, who had all recently left. It was actually Conan who suggested Psicosis to Paul Heyman to sign him. And so interesting, just kind of the connections that were there and what he was doing. And I know Heyman in interviews and long before Bischoff has said it, Heyman was high on this type of like the luchador type stuff as well too. So Rey Mysterio, a little bit of history on this one, of course. He actually debuted at 14 years old in AAA wrestling, feuding with Juventud Guerrero, and then teaming, actually it was Mysterio Sr. and Mysterio Jr. taking on Juventud and his dad in tag matches. And so like they had a history in the Mexican promotions, but like this was really when they were getting their debut, was this ECW match. And so we got a tight one, a quick one. And so a lot obviously happening after that, so yeah, I'd say we can just jump right into it.
Good, man. I'm pumped to cover this one. 55-minute mark of ECW Gangstas Paradise 1995. 55-minute mark. Jeff, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. I got it pulled up. I'm excited for this one. This should be fun.
Dude, I'm really excited for it. All right, let's get into the payoff.
Ho! It's time for the payoff.
And already an established superstar in Mexico.
Mexico City, 161 pounds. Also welcome to Extreme Championship Wrestling, Rey Mysterio Jr.
So little.
Young men natives of San Diego, California.
Wow, that's awesome. Psicosis gear, always one of my favorites.
One of my favorites. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, this is going to be awesome.
A little bit of a lucha chant there to start, as we heard. Yep.
Want to bet there's no rest holds in this match?
This is we got just over 10 minutes. Let's see how much they're on the mat. I'm gonna guess not a whole lot of mat work.
So Psicosis, according to Meltzer, has a ton of highly rated matches. Only one 5-star match was actually in 1993. It was a 3-on-3 match. Psicosis and Mysterio were both in it on opposite sides. But that was best 2 out of 3 fall 6-man tag match. And then a bunch of 4 3/4 star matches. Dude, so 4 3/4 stars against Mysterio in WCW, in ECW, in AAA, and in Wrestle Association R, which is out of Asia, which I've never heard of. But yeah, so ton of Mysterio matches up there. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff. A ton of AAA matches. That'd be fun to maybe find that. This 1993, this 6-man match. Maybe
I'll add it to our list. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. That's we're getting the deep cuts here. Yeah.
We've never covered a AAA match before.
We have not, no. So I'll try and find some other 5-star ones. Yeah, we've got our planning almost through the end of the year here, and so yeah, but we can definitely add some in the new year.
It's so funny because one of the knocks on ECW and wow, geez, man, they're just so fast.
Moving fast. The crowd way into it too.
So one of the knocks on ECW was obviously, the hardcore style and, here's the thing. If you actually, and I think a lot of people that blast ECW never really watched an ECW show because not every match was the same. like you had a match or two like this. Rob Van Dam wrestled a certain style. Different guys. Like, I mean, yes, it was a little on the hardcore side and there weren't a lot of straight matches, but like this match, I mean, this is just a traditional lucha match. It's just an awesome match.
Mm-hmm. Crowd, yeah, it feels odd to me to just see like the ECW crowd just like golf clapping is what happens. Like you don't envision them that way, so it's just funny to see them like just doing that quiet clap. A lot of elevation there, yeah. Crowd's into it though. I see some cheering going on, yeah.
I haven't told you this yet, but I'm on a major like eBay wrestling kick right now.
Are you?
Yeah, in the last like. Jeez. Oh my God.
Ooh, that was stiff as hell. Yikes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I've bought recently. So I bought a Hulkamania weight belt.
Oh yeah.
Not signed, just a regular one, but they're actually really tough to find. He sells those for like $225 at his shop. I got one for like 70 on eBay. I have an ECW banner hanging in my garage, like in my gym area.
Naturally.
I'm also adding a WWF one that's the same size, 5 foot by 3 feet. So that's kind of cool. I got a picture, a blown up picture of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage working out together that I'm putting.
Heck yeah.
Okay. What else? I got my kid a Macho Man wrestling buddy. So now we have Macho, Hogan, and Warrior. Hogan and Warrior were from me as a kid, and then I added the Macho one.
You have to.
We've
got to have the set.
We've added to my kid's action figure. He's up to like 18 of them now. He's memorized all the first names for each one. So we're adding to that. The latest is a Triple H one that's coming in. So
yeah, I will say you've sent me a video of this. What is the for a young child, Tom? What do you see? What is the best parenting method for getting them to recognize and identify WWE superstars?
Dude, I have no idea. It's like I hand him the action figure and I give him one name. So like I'm not like saying like, oh, it's Andre the Giant. It's just Andre. But he's got a one name for each. He just memorizes them after a couple times of me telling him. And then we just go through them. So like I hold one up and he names it. So funny. Like where were we? I think we were like at Chick-fil-A and some kid was talking about Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, my favorite wrestler is Cody Rhodes. I look at my son, 3 years old. I look at my son and I'm like, who's your favorite wrestler? Andre. Like it's just so funny that a guy that died in 1993 is my kid's favorite wrestler. I think that's so cool. So he loves Andre the Giant. So I'm sure a lot of kids did. All right, so these two just continue to go at it.
Oh, whoa, hello. Fast.
Beautiful maneuver.
That was often a finisher, that Hurricane Run off the rope.
Yep.
There's another one. I mean, oh God, they're just
moving very fast, plain and simple. Yep.
I don't think I'd want to watch an entire card of matches like this because I think they'd all kind of blend together. But this formula of one match like this, and that's what obviously WCW did, I just think it fits really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
WWE's just they're just never going to have a cruiserweight division, are they? Like a really good one.
Nope. Plain and simple, they just won't. Yep.
That's okay. I don't think they have to. I'd rather them not do it if they're not going to do it well. But just never work. But I mean, WCW is just so good, so they're going nuts now.
Taking control of this matchup. While both of these wrestlers are tremendous superstars, almost household names in Mexico, they have not had that much exposure here in the United States.
And remember
that exposure now, though. Yep.
Yeah. And this was, so, I mean, so this is September. Oh, okay. So this is what's interesting. So I was going to say, they've already seen some of these guys on Nitro. So Nitro launched the same month as this show.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And remember, the first Nitro had Liger Pillman on it.
Liger Pillman, yep.
So it's just the timing's just interesting of this.
But I think even Liger Pillman compared to this is a very different style.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Psicosis going up top now.
It should be interesting.
Top rope leg drop.
Big leg drop. Yep.
1, 2, and
I always thought that would be a really tough move to execute. A couple guys have done it over the years, that top rope leg drop. That just seems like it would hurt.
Painful. Like that, even like Orton talks about like laying flat out on his back. It's got to be even worse, like just a sitting out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Powerbomb by Psicosis.
Like you said, a lot of action, a lot very fast. Like compared to ECW, this is like working just a fever pitch, like of how quickly they're moving. Yeah.
How good's Dom Mysterio been?
Oh boy, that like I was not convinced until he was in the Judgment Day, and now, oh boy, look out! Ooh. Rey grabbing a chair and Psicosis. Yeah, between him and Rhea Ripley, and like, you know, you got the briefcase with Damian Priest winning. You've got Finn, and like they're all playing at the top of the game right now. Which is great.
I think that the Judgment Day is proof of sometimes you have to give it a little time. Like I enjoyed it from the beginning, but I feel like people like when Edge left, or even when Edge was still part of it, and they kind of shit on it. I'm like, just give this time, because I mean, Finn's great, Rhea's great, Priest is, I mean, an absolute rising star. Dom, I think there's a ton of potential there. I'm like, just give this time. And sure as shit, like they're doing some great work. And there's no telling, you know, how many stories are still to go in that. All right.
Dominic.
Taking that away.
Oh, corkscrew there. Yep. I say Dom is 26. And so you figure he could go another 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like, you know, and doing what he's doing, and like they have done a good job. Like you talk about building future stars. You got LA Knight in the pipeline, like, which even Triple H, I think like everybody's super high on him, but like, give it time, it'll happen. But like, same with Dominic, like nobody liked him when he first showed up again. But now that like he is doing what he's doing, the Rhea, like even Rhea wasn't over as much as she was when he got like, you know, she's your mommy now. Like that's just like
they're in the
crowd. Yeah.
Taking it to the extreme.
Well, and it's like, you know, how do you pay off this Judgment Day thing? I mean, do you do like a Dom Rhea match at some point? I mean, you know, all these guys could fight each other. Guys could turn on each other. Again, as of recording, none of this has happened. But like, you know, the briefcase. I mean, there's so much intrigue there. And I just think that's where it's like, sometimes you just gotta, and again, Twitter's Twitter. There's a lot of really just awful takes on there. But I'm like, man, like, just give this time. Like these four are too good individually for this not to have a chance at success.
Yeah, and they're just
One, two, and three. He got him. Mysterio got him. Mysterio wins the matchup.
God, Mysterio kicked out of the pin. He was the one pinning, but sure, whatever. Everybody on their feet clap.
It was fun to watch, yeah, the reaction.
I have a feeling.
Remember, they had never seen this guy before.
Oh, Dios mio. What a matchup. And a victory for me.
Okay.
Home run. Loved it. All right, let's get to the aftermath.
Ho! It's time for the aftermath.
I loved it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought that these two, like for the first time showing, how could you not beat that? And so, yeah, these two, so they actually began feuding quite a bit. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match, a Mexican death match. They also, when Juventud came over, Rey had a few matches with him as well, too, in early 1996. He had his last ECW match. It was at Big Ass Extreme Bash in March of 96. Mysterio then making his debut in WCW June 16th, 1996. Psicosis also coming over to WCW in 1996. This is when he added the Y and the H to his name. And so why you might see it different spellings. Even I was curious of why it's PSICOSIS. He added it or changed it up a little bit in WCW. And so right out of the gate, feuding with Conan, it was Clash of the Champions 32. But he would really just kind of face other luchadors in the mid-card spot, as we all know, that early spot. Ultimo Dragon working a feud there as well too. Like just a lot of different feuds. Never really like, top of the card or anything like that, but just very good stuff though. Yeah. So PWI Psicosis 87, Rey Mysterio 18, 1-8. And so because of what this show was, there really wasn't any write-ups other than just reporting on it, but Meltzer did give it 4.5 stars at the time. It was the only match that he gave stars to on this card, because like I said, it was just like the after note. That's why the Torch didn't even have a write-up on it. They talked about it, but never really breaking down the card at any point. So 4.5 from Dave Meltzer. Tom, where are you going to put this one on the payoff score?
I got this at an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really liked it. The other thing too, and you and I, God, what are we? So this is match 213 that you and I have covered together. You can believe that.
Yep.
I like shorter matches.
Yep.
And there's a time and a place for a 20 to 30 minute match. Don't get me wrong. But man, when I know it's going to be 10 minutes, I watched every move of that. Sometimes you and I get on a tangent and you kind of look off the screen or whatever. I watched every second of that and I'm like, that was fun. So like, yep. I love these like matches where like you could put that in front of someone and just be like, hey, watch this. Like, oh, that's cool. It's 10 minutes, half hour. I'm like, shit, that's just too long. So really, really enjoyed it. Big fan of it. How about yourself?
This is along the lines we talk a lot about, like I use the quote, the Big E, when he was discussing it as well too. Like I don't want your five. Like his favorite match ever, he said he would want him and Goldberg, and he's like, sometimes you don't need your 5-star classics. Like you just want big meaty men bumping meat in 8 to 12 minutes. Like this is kind of that same mentality of like sometimes you just want two wrestlers to go out and you end up with a solid 10-minute match that is just fantastic. And so we've actually got, I see here coming up in a couple weeks, one of those, the sub 5-minute matches, which is actually November to Remember, Mikey Whipwreck and Steve Austin. And then we've got some 10-minute, we got a 10-minute cage match coming up as well too. So yeah, I think you can tell the story here. Even next week is actually a 13-minute, spoilers for everybody, Cesaro and Sheamus for the US Championship. And so even just saying those names, I'm excited to watch that one again. And so yeah, I think I'm with you. You don't need much. I'm at an 8 as well too. I thought it was really good and I give it a little bit more because for their debut match, they went out there and killed it. And so or else I probably would have been at a 7.5. But yeah, just really good stuff to see them out there just killing it. So yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
That was good, man. That was a good one.
Like I said, we spoiled next week. Everybody knows what to look forward to as we get into Cesaro and Sheamus and our 13-minute match. But then, yeah, we got just good stuff happening, of course.
Yeah, we got some good ones coming up, man.
Yep, absolutely. So let's send them home happy.
All right. Well, we appreciate you listening. We hope you enjoyed it. And as always, we'll see you next week on an all-new episode of The Path.